So anyway, thank you for volunteering your time to give your feedback on the Triple P program. You guys were such great, enthusiastic participants. I thought we would just start with the question, what did you think about the training?
That is what the parents need more in these years, that the parents, they are younger. They need a lot of supports, like parenting supports, or to start in the beginning when they start at school. They got to get a lot of benefit, and maybe it's, the kids got to be better too when the parents have this kind of training.
I like the fact that it was straight to the point of the problems we're having, with the kids in school and even at home. Because I really need a little brush up now and then.
I learned a lot more about my own parenting, as far as like just kind of backing off when the situation becomes escalated. I have a 6-year-old who can become escalated really quickly, so just giving him that space also allows me to take my space and kind of rethink the situation, and whenever we're both ready to sit down and kind of discuss it, it makes it a little easier when we're both able to take space from whatever was going on. And also, I think a big one that I noticed when I redid the training with you that a lot of parents aren't really big on is the self-care. So just knowing that we have to take care of ourselves first as parents, because kids kind of feed off of our stress. If they know that we're upset or we're not in a very good mood, or they kind of feed off of that, and it makes them stressed, it makes them kind of down, and that's when their behaviors become escalated, and it kind of escalates us. And then till we can realize that we need to take care of ourselves in order to take care of them and become better parents, a lot of parents kind of fail when it comes to self-care.
Awesome. What about, how do you think the Triple P program could benefit the parents of our students?
In my opinion, especially working in the inner city, a lot of parents, they either don't utilize the resources that are available to them, or a lot of them don't know that they have those resources available. So just being able to come to a workshop where you have other parents that may be experiencing the same issues that you're experiencing, can be like very supportive to these parents, and it makes them feel like, oh, I'm not alone, like I'm like, my child, like there's nothing wrong with my child, or oh, I can probably use this and see how this works for me at home with my child. So just having them come to a workshop where they feel supported, where they feel like I said, like they're not different, like their situation is no different from their neighbor that's probably down the street. Like I said, a lot of parents are afraid to ask for help. So just offering them this workshop where they can come and just take in so much information, and probably be able to go home and put the information that they gathered to use and see how it works for them and their children. I think it'll be very beneficial, and just knowing, like I said, that they have support outside of home and outside of school, and there's other people that experience the same issues that they experience. Like it's just very helpful for them. What I think is also very beneficial about the way the Triple P parenting is presented is the fact that it shows parents that, say if you have multiple children in the household, every child's not the same. So I've come across parents that I've worked with where it's like, oh, I have 4 children and my other 3 children weren't like this. So it kind of gives them the opportunity to see that, like, every child's not the same. Like, they all have different needs, they all have different wants, and they're going to express it differently. So for them to get a better understanding that, oh, okay, yeah, those are things that my child does, and it's perfectly normal, or maybe, okay, let me try this to see if this works for this child, because like obviously it doesn't work for my 4th child like the same way it worked for my 3rd child. So it gives them that opportunity to have like just different routes that they can go down with their children to see what works for my child. And it doesn't mean that your child's a bad child. It doesn't mean that your child's different, So at the same time, like I said, I also work at the Village. So when I see some parents come in and just, like she said, the way they talk to their children, or and then the kids, they model that behavior, and then it's like, where did I go wrong, or like, where are you learning from this from? And I'm like, sweetheart, you walked in here cursing, you walked in here yelling, you walked in here screaming, and then when your child models the behavior, you have a bad child. I'm like, they're only doing what they see. So unless you're able to change your way of thinking, change your parenting style, and accept that there's other ways to do things, then this is the result you're going to get. So like I said, having those parents just realize that kids are always watching. So like I said, so whatever you do, they're gonna just mirror everything that you do.
Everybody's kind of doing the best that they know how, and I think that's what's nice about Triple P is that the information is presented in a non-judgmental way.
I tell it to my daughter, don't never
Nothing negative.
Name negative to her, or never say something that hurt her feeling, because the way you teach her is the way she's going to grow up.
I look at my mother was an amazing mom, like the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, she made mistakes, and sometimes I look at those mistakes
But
and
nobody's
say, like,
perfect.
I don't wanna do those things. I don't wanna raise my son that way. I don't, and then, like I said, with society's changed and just, like, I look at my son like, my mother, I used to get beatings. I don't beat my child because I know what that felt like, you know, and I know that that's not something that I want to raise him and think that that's okay, you know. So yeah, I do the timeouts. Yeah, I count, and some people look at me like, oh my God, like that works for you. I'm like, listen, our kids are different, and if you start them from early, and it's like kind of training your child to get them to be the child you want them to be or you need them to be. It works. So like I said, me being a young mother and just education kind of just plays into part with that too, and making myself aware, making myself educated, just knowing that there's so many more things that you can do than the corporal punishment, or, you know, there's just so much more resources out there, and it's just making these parents aware that everybody's not against you.
No.
And I think that's where it starts, is just making the parents aware that there's a lot of resources out there and that can help you become a better parent. And
in age to a lot of the parents that we have, just your personal relationship with parents can be so useful
Very good.
in
Definitely.
recruiting parents for this program. You know, just spreading the word about it so they won't feel intimidated by it.
Exactly.
That would be a way that we can get more
I could help
parents
you.
in.
You want to do other training?
Yeah.
I help you because this is my community. I live here.
Me too.
That means I'm sure, and you too. That means I'm sure if personally talking to them, I could get more parents.
But that's where it
That
starts.
mean
That's where
you
it starts.
can't, you
Building
can't
that
say with me
relationship.
because that is
You
going to
could
be for
say-
a big
We can
change.
working
You could
together.
say, I've
very
been
good.
through the
I
training
feel
and
good.
I know.
Yes, and I learn and I start using from my grandkids.
Yeah, it's never too late to
That was a
learn.
great idea, because I'm here for 30 years, this is my neighborhood for 30
Yeah.
years, and I know they need it. They need a program like that. They need
Yeah.
it.
For we
But
try
it
to
takes
be a big
community
change.
members to
And
yeah,
that's exactly
what it is.
together
Yeah.
to get the parents to
Oh,
feel
yeah.
comfortable
That's exactly
enough
what
to
it
come
is.
in.
Come